Okay, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. I hope you had a great weekend. Well, there's been so much that's been happening, and I think we need to give it a little bit more time for it to sort of marinate properly. Let's not just jump at it. But one thing that has been marinating for a while is the stewardship of the president in terms of what he's been up against and what he's been doing about it, and what the current environment looks like. Our guest this morning is a commentator on public affairs, architect Tunde Imoleyin. He's an architect and he's an environmentalist as well, apart from being a stalwart of the ruling party. So a fine morning to you, Tunde.
Morning, Mr. Fulari. It's good to be here again.
Same feeling here. Okay. As you know, there's been the conversation has been ongoing. Times are quite tough in the country, and that has led to a lot of people speaking about the state we're in and what is being done about it. And as you know, there will be many who will be saying that absolutely nothing is being done about it. Just look at it. Look at our condition. Look at where we are. And there are those who will be saying that, hang on, guys, let's put back on the cap of reason. We know what's going on. And one of the last things you can say is that the president isn't doing anything. The president and his team are not doing anything about it. But, however, translating directly a Yoruba expression into English, it is not when stomach is in the hunger is in the stomach that any other matter will get a fair, hearing. So that, I think, is what we're at. And the truth is, there are many who are in that.
I understand.
It doesn't matter whether you're a supporter, whether you're not a supporter, none of that matters. Look at this protracted thing that we've been dealing with, the minimum wage. Is it? Yeah, that's what it is, the minimum wage. The president, he has been hands-on on that. In fact, you know all about it. And once again, architect Tunde Imoleyin is our guest. So as I was saying, Tunde, before going over to attempt to play that video, if we were to look at, do an assessment of the efforts of this administration, give me an overview of how you would put it, because things are hard, and people want the condition to be much better, not just tomorrow, possibly even yesterday, if you get my meaning. That's how bad things are. Give me your assessment and efforts at redressing these issues.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Fulari. As a Nigerian, if you ask me to speak on what is going on, I would say that legitimately I have every right to assess my government. I have every right to assess the president. I have every right to assess the people that have entrusted power in. And I would say that I have a right to criticize based on, I have the grounds. But if you also ask me to do the same thing as a Nigerian, as a patriot, I will also tell you that I have a right, to assess the president or government, the federal government, whether he's doing well or whether he's not doing well. But I don't have sufficient reasons to prosecute him. I don't have sufficient reasons to put him behind the bar. And I don't have the sufficient reasons, to impeach him, because it's not for me to do. I can criticize, and within the law, I can responsibly do that as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, and also have the right to say the government is doing well and is not doing well. This is what you can do, and this is what you should do. This is what you promised, and these are gaps, and this is exactly. It behoves of the president or the leader, let me use the word leader now, to listen to you and make corrections, because he's human. And if he listens from one time to the other and he does the right thing, then of course that means it's a responsive president, leader. Let me use the word leader now. This leader has spent 28% out of his 100% within his tenure in government. He has spent just 28%. He has 72% to go on the journey. And here we are. We are saying he should leave. He should do this. He should do that. Then we don't. What happens to sustainability? What happens to low-hanging fruits? What happens to sustainable ideas and the reforms that he started? You see, that's my question. I'm not saying that people don't have any right to complain. They do. It's a legitimate right. They have it, unhindered, according to the Constitution. They have. I mean, right to protest, right to express your grievances. But my point and my take is that people should responsibly do that. And people should look back and make sure that they don't protest and in a situation whereby it becomes counterproductive. He has just spent 28% of his 100%, and he has done a lot. What are the functions of a leader? What are the qualities of a leader? A leader that is empathetic, a leader that is listening, a leader that is decisive, takes decision at the right time. Leaders are prone to mistakes. But when you make mistakes, you accept it. You are humble enough to accept them. We have seen the attributes of leadership being displayed in this government at the center. So I have not been able to see enough or adequate or sufficient reasons why this president should, excuse, the job. So, well, but that does not mean that there is...
Let me come in there.
Excuse me. That does not mean that this president does not have his plate full. He has a lot on his plate, and his job is cut out for him.
Indeed.
And to believe that you have to wait for 2027 to do anything, no, it is now. I think there is a need for a lot to be done in really managing this situation, because our situation requires a total surgery that would not bring any gains immediately. We have to understand
I hear
this,
what you're saying,
and we have to make sacrifices.
Indeed. I hear what you're saying today. I was just going to come in and say that, well, you do have a sympathetic view, and that is your right. Perhaps you'll also grant that,
objective view.
Objective and sympathetic of the situation that any leader today in Nigeria would find himself in. It happens to be Tinubu. And so he himself does not shy away from the job. In fact, he famously said at one stage, "Do not pity me. I begged for this job. I applied for this job." I think he's sufficiently a statesman to know what it takes. Although I will be a bit surprised, I will be perhaps a bit surprised if he wasn't caught unawares by some of the things that have come to pass since he assumed office. Food inflation, first and foremost. We go back to that, my very poor translation of the Yoruba expression, where once you're hungry, reason flies out the window. Food inflation is
of course, food inflation is about 40%. And
there you go. There you go. That
general
exactly.
Inflation is about 34%.
And all of
and
these...
And then we have issues of foreign exchange, retooling, and what have you, and there's more the
consequences. Now you're talking to me. So this is the milieu. This is the milieu in which, let me say it again, that the way I first of all said it, any Nigerian leader, and it happens to be Tinubu, and he's not shying away from the job, has to operate. These are not the most popular of times for any such leader. But I agree with you that there are things that are being done. And sometimes in frustration, people are likely to say that simply because, well, I will remove the word simply, because I'm hungry, I don't really see anything that is being done. So it's a problem. You yourself rattled off a few of the things that are big problems for us. But you talked about low-hanging fruits. And I think well, I don't, maybe I wouldn't have put it exactly as low-hanging fruits, but things that are being done that are positive and that might not be getting the full value that they need to be given, such as I was speaking about the collective bargaining and the president coming in on it, and now he has approved 70,000 naira. You know, Labour itself says that it was the best option in the circumstance. So he is working, but the challenge here is that I don't know if everybody else is working along with him. And I know that's a very delicate thing for me to say because all the governors will be watching. Everybody puts their, garbage at the doorstep of the president. He is the number one, quote-unquote, dustman. Put it there. There are people who have said that, wait a minute, instead of overwhelming that side, what about the governors? What about the governors? They have different situations. Are we really asking them enough? We're asking Mr. President for everything. So maybe that is the kind of thing that we might be talking about as to how to sort of maneuver ourselves in this situation. By all means, later on, you can come to the matter of protest because there are those who are saying that a protest is necessary. As we are speaking, I'm hearing others say that think about this protest properly. What is it going to achieve? Is it really the thing to be doing? Will it not be hijacked and all of those kind of things? I hope you understand. I'm trying to put it in perspective as to why people are very sore at the moment. I don't know if you agree.
Yes, you've touched most of the things that are on the front burner right now. People want to protest, people are angry, people are hungry. I'm hungry too. I mean, my budget have had to make a lot of sacrifices at home and even beyond. I mean, just adjustments just to suit the present economic reality. I think everything boils down to the management of macroeconomic principles, the monetary and the fiscal policies of the administration, given what has happened in the past.
Sorry, let me just make I beg your pardon, Tunde. Forgive me for interrupting you. Let me just make this quick announcement. The Speaker of the House of Reps, Tajuddin Abbas, he's declaring open the Joint Downstream Midstream Petroleum Committee to probe alleged unwholesome activities in an NNPCL. So a section of our broadcast shall switch over to there live. If you want to watch that, by all means, the rest know how to keep on this program in case you want to make your own contributions. Viewers in diaspora will continue to see it without any break. The rest can check it out on our channel on YouTube. We'll continue. So sorry for that, Tunde, but I had to make that announcement. Please go ahead now.
Yes, thank you. I sincerely believe that the president has tried. You know, when he came in, I think it was quoted, I think he said it. He said, let the poor breathe. When I analyze that statement, I look at somebody, I see him as somebody who is empathetic about the people he understood, even right from day one. Right from day one. So if he could say that at that time, and now he's facing challenges, I think it behooves of us, as responsible citizens in this country, to understand the fact that he's not an armchair president that is working so hard to tackle most of these problems, bringing out, churning out a lot of policies, a lot of solutions to our problems in a very responsive manner. You know, I think we should have sympathy for him. And that's why I came up with that article, Let the President Breathe.
Let the President breathe. You know, before you continue, Tunde, I'm sure, thank you very much, forgive me, but you do know the nature of our program. It's very, very interactive. And Mr. George has called in. Let me take that call, his contribution to the program, and then we'll continue. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning to our guest this morning.
Mr. Tunde Imolei.
Yes. Uncle Yori, there is all over the world where changes or reformations take place, it comes with pains. But in the case of Nigeria, many of the aides of the president himself are contributing to these pains that come with the reforms. See what is happening at the oil sector. We have a refinery, even though privately owned, that can service this country effectively and solve many of these problems that are causing agitation. It will improve foreign exchange, it will improve transportation costs, it will improve standard of living. But see what Nigerians themselves are doing, working hard to make sure it does not happen. See the power sector. They are generating an average of 3,000 megawatts for 200 million people. And they want to make 2.7 trillion naira from 3,000 megawatts. They are migrating people without their consent to their band A, what they call band A, where the tariff has been increased by 300%. If all these are happening at the same time, who is to blame? If I were the president, by now I would have fired the Minister of Power and fired the NNPC GND. If he doesn't do things like that, even his own appointed officials will be the ones that will incite the public against him, as it's already happening in the power sector now. You must be hearing that people are talking about protest. I talk to the grassroots.
Yeah.
These are the things that are causing it. We are not against reforms. If you don't reform, you can never make progress in any economy. And that's what the president is doing. But this, some of the people, not all of them, please get me right, not all the officials, some of them are working against the reformation. And the president has to check it. He should start from this Dangote refinery thing and continue it with the power minister. That's what I say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. Tunde, go ahead.
I want to agree with that that caller, that the president needs to really, really do something about these spoilers of these reforms, whether directly or indirectly. He has the powers, constitutionally he does, and politically he can. And I think that's an area where they're expecting the president to do something. You see, nobody would have thought that the president would successfully come up with this local government policy. But he sought advice and, recommendation and suggestions of people, of technocrats, and he came up with a legal, option, formula that actually worked. And today we are talking about local government autonomy. And that is, a very brilliant a policy that is going to be sustainable over time by the time it becomes operational. Let me quickly say something about the fact that it shouldn't be the president alone that should be, the focus of attention. The subnationals also have a role to play in making sure that they complement whatever is happening at the center, given the political structure that we have in the country today. The question is that how much are they bringing to the table? When President Tinubu came up the other day, he liberated the energy, environment, ecosystem, by giving autonomy to the subnationals. What have they done? I think it's about one or two states that have taken advantage of that opportunity. So people should be asking questions. People should be asking the National Assembly, why is it that you voted out the opportunity to oversight the money meant for insurgency?
Yeah.
Senator Oshamole came up
with
that statement,
story.
And it was voted
right.
out.
That was a wacky
These are
statement.
These are issues that people should be engaging. You see, there are three arms of government: the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. I'm not here to grandstand. I'm here to look at the issues, based on my experience. I'm a public governance and leadership scholar. And I know what is required of leadership. And this president has done, he may not have completely done exactly what is expected. And that is why I'm here, asking him, you need to hit that door. That door is begging for your attention. Hit it hard. Very hard, enough so that you will not be, at the receiving end on behalf of the spoilers of our economy and on behalf of the spoilers of our country.
Okay, one moment. One moment. Ada has called in, and I've
so
kept
you need to do something. You need to take that very important decision.
Ada, can you hear me? Go ahead now.
This thing.
Yeah, so
please go ahead, Ada.
For too long.
I'm so sorry.
Good morning, Ada, calling from just Plateau State. Yes, Tinubu Stewardship. I've said it times without number. No matter what, whatever he's put on ground, and he don't address this issue of the high price in fuel and diesel, we're going nowhere. All these politics is giving is waste of money, waste of time. It's not pulling anybody out of poverty. Then let him put an eye on this Dangote issue. Why the Dangote refinery? We are hoping that it will now help us out. Look at the issues on ground now. Why can't they look into it? And then look at the NNPC or NNPC or whatever it's called. What is going on? Why are they more interested in importing the fuel? Why are they more interested in that? It's corruption. Nothing else. It's nothing short of it. There's hunger in the land. I've said it has one number. I'm a fan of Tinubu from the onset. I feel he can really fix this country. But there are a lot of things happening. Everything revolves around this fuel thing. And then insecurity. The law enforcement agents, they are doing their bit, but they are doing it piecemeal. Even if it means Nigeria standing still for 3 days, let them do a coordinated basis simultaneously in all those forests. That is the problem. We can't continue shying away from it. The protests they want to start in 1st of August. If you shut people down, bottle them up. My fear is that there might be an unorganized set of people who are so hungry that will come, not even these young people. Just like that. So don't let him do something about fuel and diesel. How you want to do it, I don't know. All I know is that is where the whole thing revolves, and insecurity. Oh, it's a let's argue for Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Ada, for calling in. Mr. Imolain, you said, how he's going to do it, I don't know, but let him just get on with it. So people trust in the president,
yes,
but it doesn't matter how much you trust in a person, there still is a situation on the ground that I expect him to be slugging away at. It seems to be the attitude that a lot of people have.
The president is a very smart man. He's very smart, and I know, and he's very responsive. He gauges. I won't be surprised if he's watching this program. He's someone that you will have noticed, if you had noticed. I mean, since he started his tenure, he's been very responsive. Any slight observation by the people, by any organization, whether it's government, whether it's the people, whether it's the civil society, he responds so quickly. I mean, issue of corruption in his executive, he addressed it. Issue of appointments, he addressed it. Very, very proactive president. I would want to advise him, he should anything that is going to make it impossible, because I know him. He wants to etch a name in the sands, on the sands of time. He wants to be the best president Nigeria has ever produced. He wants to be the best human being that has ever come from this planet, from Nigeria. He's a very ambitious man, and he's a very hardworking president. But he needs to be decisive. He needs to hit that door. That door is locked. He needs to break that door. That door that makes it impossible for us to attain our potentials in this country. That is part of our agenda in APC. He needs to break that door now, no matter whose ox is God. Because if he doesn't do that, he's going to be the victim. And the people will continue to wallow in poverty. For instance, look at the palliatives. Good idea. And there are some middlemen in the name of party officials, in the name of government officials that are making it very, very impossible. And the people that are supposed to even be the whistleblowers are not even doing anything. So it's a collective. The responsibility is collective. The president is there. It's an organogram. There is a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy of corruption. There's a hierarchy of responsibility. There's a hierarchy of providing the democracy of the development of democracy. If
we'll be right back.
Let
me take a break now.
We won't have a problem.
We'll be right back after this.